Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 71 of the In From Japan podcast, the podcast where we talk about the latest news on Japan-developed games and other things in relation to them. Available on YouTube and in most places podcasts can be found. As always, I'm your host, Erroll Moss, and with me is my co-host, the phenomenon from Suriname, Jason Corder.
Hey, hey.
And we have a little housekeeping for you. Just check out our reaction videos to the Monster Hunter digital event, the Dragon Quest 35th anniversary live stream, and the Sonic 30th live stream, or 30th anniversary live stream. And we'll talk more about all that news a little later. Right now, we're going to talk about the Japanese games we've been playing. So, I have barely played any Japanese games this week.
How come?
Like until today, because I've been covering Biomutant.
Oh.
Which you can see my thoughts on that on Parallax Media, hopefully next week.
Fingers crossed.
But I tried the Scarlet Nexus demo finally.
Ooh. And? Thoughts?
It feels better than I expected originally.
Uh-huh.
But it's also a little weird. So because of, I think it's probably an earlier section in the game, you can't do as much as maybe you will be able to eventually. Like, one attack. So there's you know how like a lot of stylish action games you have the jump attack where it's like, but it's usually jump and then attack while you're in the air. For Scarlet Nexus, it's both buttons at the same time, and that threw me off a little bit.
That is definitely weird.
It just felt a little weird, yeah.
Yeah.
Once I got used to it, it was fine, but it was just like, huh. And then you have your regular attack and your jump attack, and you have your psychic powers, which you use the right trigger to throw around nearby objects. And then there are special objects you could grab with the left trigger to like, you hit an enemy and then you do a special action after that. Like, it'll tell you to do something with the like analog sticks. And that's pretty fun, but and it depends on the object. You'll either be like pressing them in, or just pressing one way, or going in a circle.
Kind of context
like
sensitive.
spinning a thing around. Yeah. It's pretty fun, but it doesn't happen as often as like. There's usually, like, I'd say not per area, but there's like maybe one of those objects per fight. Maybe two if you're lucky. So it's not as. It's basically not quite as fast as I want it to be yet. And then besides that, there's also like this, once you get like a high enough, I think it's like once you get a high enough combo, and when you press left trigger, he does a Yuito, who I was playing as, he does a special attack, but it's always the same. It's the kind of thing, it's always the same animation.
It could be.
Which again, that might be chalked up to, that just might be a demo thing.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's probably related to his equipped abilities, and that kind of maybe changes.
This is going to be like... This is going to be like the worst comparison, but it's kind of like the Code vein of stylish action game.
I'm like, pretty sure there's like, a better description.
Yeah. It's not quite as good as like a Hideki Kamiya game would be. But it's like it's good enough that like somebody like me can still appreciate it and enjoy it.
So, yeah,
but again, this is going off the demo. I still need to try the full game.
I mean,
there's also the other. You have teammates, right? And the thing that's special about your teammates is when you hold down the right bumper and one of the face buttons, you can borrow their powers. So, like, there's one girl with fire powers, there's one person with teleportation, one person with clairvoyance, which allows you to see invisible enemies, and one guy with, like, a defensive shield type of... Not shield, but, like, resistant, like like a body shield type of thing, like a skin hardening.
Okay.
I don't know. I think the concept is really interesting, and I'm actually more excited to play the full game now.
Okay. I have it downloaded on my Xbox, but I haven't had the time to play it.
I might try again with the female character who I forget the name of.
Okay, cool.
Just because I know there's a bit of a difference.
Yeah, Yuito is supposed to be short range, like close combat, and the other one is supposed to be for long range.
But like you could kind of do long range with Yuito through the telekinesis.
I mean, it's probably like his strengths are close range related, and the other one.
And then one issue was like the boss at the end. To take it down, like you could take it down just by like attacking it a bunch and dodging and all that. But like you're level 4 and this thing is level 20. So it's going to take a long time. So what you have to do is you have to wait until it gets under one of these like objects that you activate with left trigger. But sometimes it feels like you're just waiting for so long for it to move under, and then sometimes it doesn't move exactly under or like quite the right way. So it's a little bit annoying.
Okay. It says here that the other character is...
But I got fast.
What's her name? I just had it. Yuito.
Doesn't want us to know.
Kasane.
Okay. Yeah, so I'll try her next.
Okay.
And then there was like this weird thing with the cutscenes where they were like half of a cutscene was comic book style, and then the other half had... actual, CG animations and stuff. And I'm like, maybe that's another weird demo thing. I don't know. I could see that weird mix getting kind of annoying in the full game.
You mean, how do I put this? Like, for the...
stills.
Like, for the traditional scenes, you'd have, like... stills, and for the action scenes
like stills but in like comic book style boxes and like kind of stacked on top of each other in a sequential order, like that'll show up,
kind of like how The World Ends With You does it.
Yeah, kind of.
Okay.
But I'm like, oh, is the whole cutscene gonna always be like this? And right when I said that, it went to like a CG part. I was like, oh. I'm like, well, that's interesting that they did it that way. I don't know if that's a demo thing or not. We'll see next month, I guess. But gameplay-wise, I'm still interested, and that's what matters. I don't really, it's a stylish action game. I don't care that much about the story. Although, it could be interesting.
I mean, they kind of feel like they're putting a lot of effort into the story, so much so that there's an anime adaptation. So,
that's true.
It could be... a lot deeper than we give it credit for.
Yeah. Again, I'll have more like full thoughts once I do the other character.
Cool.
Otherwise, I've also been playing. I just started Earth Defense Force World Brothers, which just came out today.
Okay, and how is that?
It's discounted on everything. Day 1 discount. It's really fun. It's simple. You switch between. You switch between like four characters, or you can switch between up to 4 characters, of which you all have to unlock. But there's one really glaring flaw,
and that is.
So have you ever seen G Gundam?
Yeah, or I try to.
Remember. So it has G Gundam level stereotypes.
Okay.
With a lot of the characters, like, because a lot of characters are like represent a country, and one of the I'm gonna just list the more tame ones because I don't want to get too. So there's like a British Royal Guard, and like this one European lady whose special attack is like putting down a windmill turret.
But I feel like the Earth Defense Force games are...
And then there's the kind of guy with the sombrero and the guitar, and it's like, oof.
I mean, I don't know about that. Aren't the Earth Defense Force games kind of broad in appeal and in story structure? Like, From what I can,
They're not usually as cartoony. I mean, they're a different type of cartoony than World Brothers is.
But what I'm trying to get at is, are they usually nuanced?
What do you mean?
Like,
I still don't really get.
Are the characters not as broadly depicted?
What I still don't.
Like, you described how the characters are kind of like broad depictions of, shall we say, racial archetypes or stereotypes.
No, they're usually so in the the other EDF games. It's just like the characters are just certain classes, which you do get characters that are all classes from the past games. So if I ever stream this game, I would have to have my team be of those characters specifically.
Okay.
Because otherwise, it's a little weird, and EDF's kind of lucky it's a more niche series because I can think of a lot of people who would not appreciate these types of things. Not that like it's very like, come on, this isn't the 90s.
Well, maybe
we're past this.
Maybe they are aiming for that aesthetic. Who knows?
Yeah, it's strange. It's not a bad game otherwise. It's a really fun game, and it's very simple because it's for like you said, a more broad audience.
Okay.
It's just I couldn't not mention. It's one of those things where I can't overlook that.
Sure.
You know. The Wing Diver from the previous games has been like the best character so far. Just because she like one-shots all the giant ants and can fly.
That does sound convenient, yes.
But yeah, otherwise like the missions are pretty short. It's obviously it's not a very hard game because it's trying to be more approachable. You can you can mix and match weapons and accessories as you unlock more characters. I'm only a couple missions in, so I'm not like that deep into any systems. And then like each character has their own special attack.
Yeah.
But they say the characters talk a little too much. And they say the same thing every time they do a special attack. So, and I don't mean like, they say a quick thing and it's fine. I mean, the Wing Diver, her special attack is called Geist, and she goes, "What is a Geist anyways? Like Poltergeist? That's a good movie." And she says that every time.
It's kind of like the Xenoblade Chronicles 2 gaff, where the audio was always bits of the characters doing the same thing over and over again.
Oh boy. But yeah, I don't want to discourage anyone from playing this game, but if you're not, like, just be wary of some of the national stereotype type of stuff.
Cool.
There are other EDFs you can play. Again, I don't know if I'd recommend this. If you want to get into like core EDF, this is not the one I would recommend.
Okay.
I'd recommend 4.1 probably. Or 5. I haven't played 5
yet. What's the difference?
Maybe I'd recommend 5 once I play.
Broadly with this and the core EDF franchise or series?
Well, this is much easier.
Oh, okay.
This is much more for like a more casual, as I said, a broader audience. And like the art style is like it's blocky. It's a blocky voxel art style, so like kind of Legos or Minecrafty.
Okay.
It looks really nice, and the game also, luckily, is very small. It's only 5.8 gigs.
Okay. Well, there's that.
So if if you see gameplay and you're interested, I'd recommend at least trying it out, especially on Steam, since you can get a refund easily if you really don't like it.
Yeah.
But otherwise, so far, because of the certain things, I'd recommend other EDF games over it. This is the same team that did the previous EDF spin-off, Iron Rain, which I really like. But the thing about Iron Rain is it's different from the main series of EDF.
Okay.
It's different enough where if you like it, you might not like the main series. But yeah, just I'd say because most EDF games are on Steam, or at least a handful of them, and I believe there are like 2 of the older ones available through Xbox backwards compatibility as well.
Okay. Well,
so like, I don't want to. Yeah, so I'll play more of World Brothers and report back on if it gets better. I mean, like I said, gameplay is fine. But yeah, it just feels weird to play a game like that in 2021. You know. Anyways, so what have you been up to?
Well, I haven't been playing as much Japanese games as is the case with you because my Xbox Game Pass Ultimate is running out in I think 4 days now, and my credit card is also expired, so I can't resub anytime soon. So I've been trying to clear Gears of War 4 off of my bucket list for a week now. I'm on the last chapter, so it'll be done soon. But I have managed to squeeze in some time with Famicom Detective Club. I'm still on the missing Heir. I'm on chapter 7 out of 10. It's still fun and engaging, but the same issues still persist. And in the later chapters, it becomes even more frustrating because sometimes you're just at a loss as to what you're supposed to be doing to progress the story. Thank the Lord, Kate Gray at Nintendo Life has a guide up to help everyone with these problems. So I've been making use of that liberally. It's never like... It's not like it's some kind of arcane solution. Well, it is an arcane solution. But it's not like it's some difficult puzzle that requires some timing or ultra gamer reflexes. It's just some command prompts unlock new dialogue, but the way to get to those command prompts or dialogue prompts is so obtuse and so strange. Like, you have a range of options to choose from your command menu, but not everything works all the time. So you're left scratching your head thinking, okay, now what? And if you exhaust all your dialogue choices, you still come up short, and then you're still thinking, okay, is this a bug or is this a feature? But it's a feature, alas. Yeah. So if anyone's interested in this game, I highly suggest you take the guide along with you. Like, up until chapter 5 and 6, you'll be fine without a guide, I feel. But after, you're definitely going to need one. Otherwise, you're throwing your Switch across the room, which I would not recommend.
Yeah, don't do that.
I'm still debating if I'm going to be playing the other one. I do want to, because that would be like a sign of support for Nintendo to make more visual novels or detective games, but something's got to give, man. You have to redo the gameplay entirely. Anyway, I've also been playing the early access version to Nier Reincarnation, which is very pretty on mobile, running on my OnePlus 7T, so that should give you an idea of what to benchmark it against. It's pretty. It looks engaging. The combat is auto battle, which is weird because it's framed as if it was a turn-based battle system. So I'm kind of wondering why they chose the auto battle route. Maybe they figured people wouldn't have enough time to dedicate to a mobile game, so let's speed it up for them. But you can choose like the special attacks, so that is dependent on if your gauge is filled and if you press the button at the right time. But I barely scratched the surface of that game. The early access runs till June 1st. So I'll try to get some more time into it in the next days. And I've also been playing Art the Lad R, which is kind of a reboot of the Arc the Lad series from the PlayStation.
What is that? What are you playing that on?
On my mobile phone.
Oh, okay.
It's a phone RPG / gacha game.
Oh.
No, don't worry. It's not an egregious gacha game where you have to grind for characters.
I'll let you finish, but I forgot to talk about a gacha thing.
I've been playing it. It's kind of like a strategy RPG game. If you're familiar with Fire Emblem or maybe Langrisser, you kind of get the idea. The battlefield is like on a grid, and you have to position your characters to do attacks or special abilities. And it's not super difficult, but again, I'm only on chapter 1, so it could be all due to that. It's okay-ish. I mean, it's not super fun. It's not super bad. It's just middle of the road, kind of. If the battles were more difficult, I'd see them as probably more engaging. If it was on Switch even, probably, but that's also another debate. Maybe I'll spend some more time with it. Maybe I'll delete it from my phone. Who knows? We'll see next week. But that's all I've been up to recently.
Yeah, so for gacha, so Dragon Quest Tact, I was gonna, start picking it up again.
Mm-hmm.
I tried to update it, not enough space on my phone, so like, I made some space on my phone, but then every time I tried to update it, it just wouldn't work. And so I tried uninstalling it and reinstalling it, and that apparently deleted my save data.
Wow.
So
wait.
It looks like I'm not playing that again.
Did you sign in with your Google Games account?
Yeah, I'm sure I did. Pretty sure I did.
If you do that,
because it should have saved that, but it didn't.
If you reinstall and then sign in with your Google Games account again, it should reload your save.
Or I don't know if it will, because I tried. I think I'm just gonna hold off of it.
I mean,
for now.
That's what I did. I forgot which game that was, but I think it was
Christoria.
Yeah,
maybe?
Christoria. If you sign in with your account, that's how it saves. But
okay, I don't know if I signed in with my account on the original save file. I can't remember.
That's probably
because I started so long ago. Yeah.
Gonna be a lot of research on your part.
So I might just not pick it back up again. But I got plenty of other games. It's fine.
Yeah.
I'm not a big. You know me. I'm not a big mobile game person anyway.
Maybe I'll
kind of like, well. Yeah, I think you should try it.
Maybe I'll play it in your stead.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we're gonna move on to the In From Japan J list, where we talk about recent video game related entertainment news. Only 2 stories. Not too much. We have multiple manga projects underway for Gundam Ace 20th anniversary. This is by Stephanie Liu for Silicon Era. For the upcoming 20th anniversary of monthly manga magazine Gundam Ace, at least 4 new series will begin. Details are still scarce, but more information will appear as the dates for commemorative series releases draw closer. In August 2021, a new manga series based on Mobile Suit Gundam 80. I mean, there's a 0080 War in the Pocket.
Yeah.
Will start serialization. Hiroyuki Tamakoshi, author of Gacha Gacha and Boys Bee, will pen it. As well, why did they write it? That's weird. Mobile Suit Crossbone Gundam X11 will start in August as well. They put as well. I don't know. Like the other entries in the Crossbone series, it's written by Yuichi Hasegawa. Mobile Suit Crossbone Gundam X11 depicts the last days of Curtis Rothko, who is also known as Tobia Aeronax. I wish you would say what whoever that character is. Maybe explain who that is instead of just saying their name.
The people who know.
I don't know. In September 20, I just know I need to read Crossbone at some point because it's Gundam Pirates.
Okay.
In September 2021, a new project based on Gundam Seed will start, though the leaks initially stated that it would not be a spin-off manga serialization. New information has somewhat debunked this. It still appears to be a serialization of some kind, but perhaps not a manga. In October 2021, a new manga series titled Mobile Suit Gundam Pulitzer Amuro Ray Beyond the Aurora will start. It will be written by Umetaru Saitane and Chihiro Uwaki. Saitane previously worked on Mobile Suit Gundam Ground Zero Rise from the Ashes, Rise from the Ashes. Pulitzer focuses on Kika Kobayashi in the year 0095 as she gathers evidence and testimonies on Amuro Ray.
You know,
who's from the first Gundam series.
I think Bandai and Sunrise have this random name generator when they pick the next title.
for Gundam or for Tails?
Both, yeah.
Or for Scarlet Nexus?
Yeah.
Code Vein?
Probably.
Well, Vein makes sense in terms of Code Vein because it's about blood codes and
yeah, I guess.
Such. And real quick, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Diamond is Unbreakable dub and sub is now available on Netflix, and that's probably my favorite JoJo series.
I still have to watch it. I'm still
because it has like a lot of because it's set in the 90s,
yeah, like
late 90s, and it has a lot of influences from popular 90s anime. Like there's some really clear Dragon Ball Z influence. It just being set in a town reminds me of like the early Yu Yu Hakusho.
Mm-hmm.
Just stuff like that. That's why I like it so much.
In the lore of JoJo, that Jesus Christ himself was the first stand user.
It was a JoJo. Yep. Mm-hmm. that wasn't until the reboot or something apparent, or until the timeline shenanigans or something.
That's like my favorite bit of lore.
Tidbit of information
in anything.
Yeah. Alright, next is recommended content other than news from the past week listed out, links in the description. First we have fan translated games and ROM hacks by Austin Eruption on YouTube. I like when people talk about the importance of fan translated games because of the one, it's good for game preservation. Two, it lets us access
older
stuff we may not be able to access otherwise. Yeah. And it's like, and then you can support the official release if one happens later.
I mean, you should do that first, but
you should. No, it's always try to support the official release. But if you don't have that option,
yeah.
Or if you could own the game. You could always own the game, and then depending on what system is on, download an English patch, English translation patch. So I'm glad that that's like a thing.
Mm-hmm.
So you can still officially support the game and be able to understand it. It's just so interesting to see the history of fan translated games, especially with stuff regarding like Final Fantasy V, which had like that whole fascinating story.
I think it was last week or 2 weeks ago on Axe with the Blood God that Kat and Nadia discussed fan translated games and ROM hacks, so definitely give that episode also a listen. And
Nadia Oxford, friend of the show,
and Patrick Klepik of Vice also had a great article on, I think it was Bahamut Lagoon, the fan mod community behind that. And Chris Kohler's Final Fantasy V Boss Key book also talks about...
Book is very good.
Talks about ROM hacks and fan translations.
Just the history of fan translations is, especially the older ones, is fascinating.
Yeah.
So that's why I recommend that video. Then we have, across many servers, the Final Fantasy XIV community honors the legacy of Kentaro Miura by Natalie Flores for Fanbyte. Then we have Final Fantasy XIV director Naoki Yoshida speaks about FanFest, Ishtola skin color changes, and NPC dating, also by Natalie Flores for Fanbyte. Final Fantasy XIV is a masterclass in grief and the power of hope by Nadia Oxford for Inverse. Resident Evil's most unsettling theme isn't zombies, it's eugenics by Kazuma Hashimoto for Polygon. Before anybody assumes anything, it's the villains. The villains are the eugenicists?
Yeah.
Eugenicists. That's what I was trying to figure out what the word was, and I was like, wait. Yeah, it's so it's not like he's not saying, "Oh, Resident Evil bad." No, Kazuma is like one of the probably the biggest Resident Evil fan I know.
Yeah.
He knows all about all that lore, even from like the extent. Like there are books in Japan, like Japan exclusive books that have lore that you wouldn't know unless you read them.
I mean, you could find that
info. So it's very impressive.
You could find that info now on the fandom wiki, I guess. But
apparently not always.
That's interesting.
Because a lot of those items are kind of old and kind of rare now too. And then we have Anime Impact. Promare remains a visual masterpiece, but is a queerbait by friend of the show Monty Velez for Gaming Mag. And then we have Inside IGN's Battle for Editorial Independence by Steven Strom for Fanbyte, which, please, try to support the editorial team at IGN. They're going through a rough time still.
Mm-hmm.
Especially right before E3, and they're probably deciding what to do. You have anything to add to that?
No. It's the same thing we discussed, I think, last week.
Last week? Yeah.
It's unfortunate.
Support them. They're a good team over there. I know people don't always agree with them, but it's not. They do good work, and then a lot of their good work goes ignored because of certain stuff.
Yeah.
Next up is the news rundown, and I will let our bearer of bad news and Shinigami take it away.
Yes, first up, Bankai. We have Smash director Masahiro Sakurai is considering retirement and ending his Famitsu column this year. This is by Andrew Kia from Silicon Era. Masahiro Sakurai, the director of games such as Kirby and Super Smash Bros., is reportedly considering early retirement. He also discussed his plans to end his popular Famitsu column after the release of Super Smash Bros. Ultimate's last two fighters. Sakurai stated that he would likely be ending the column this year at the latest. Shout out to Ryokucha, that's a difficult name. And following the news comes from Sakurai's Think About Video Games column on Famitsu. The Smash Directors column has gained significant popularity since its inception in 2003. It was also collected into a series of books and published independently. Through it, Sakurai has talked about everything video game related, from his decision to not include Rex in Smash to his thoughts on Cyberpunk 2077 refund controversy. There are more details in the article, so give them a click. And IGN also had kind of a follow-up regarding this by Joe Scrabbles. That Sakurai isn't retiring from game development proper. He's just offhand remarking on, maybe I should retire, maybe I should take a break. But he's not like setting it in stone that after Smash is done that he's done with video games. But he is thinking about it. He is definitely retiring from the Famitsu column. And if that changes, should he be, I could give it another year, then we'll update you, but that's the only thing he's retiring from as of now. Okay, so that's the bad-ish news.
Support your local translator.
Definitely.
Because we don't get I wish we got an officially translated Famitsu, because just their articles and especially their covers are always great.
I mean,
we get articles. We do get people translating certain bits and pieces.
No, I was gonna say we already get plenty of coverage. I think
that's true.
If there was more a spotlight on Japanese developed games, that would be great. But the Japanese,
that's what we're for.
but the Japanese game industry is kind of a bit more secretive and
that's true.
Hush on things. So
Nintendo will come to get you.
That's not a threat. Don't come after us. Next up in the good-ish news, Kadokawa Games announces new age space opera. New Age Space Opera Strategy RPG Relayer. This is by Sal Romano for Gamatsu. Kadokawa Games has announced Relayer, a new age space opera strategy RPG from the God Wars development team. Weekly Famitsu issue number 1695, due out on May 27th, has a 14-page feature on the announcement. That's a lot of pages. Formerly known as Project Stella, including interviews with key staff. Only the front cover of the issue has been published online, so details including platforms, release date, and gameplay information are currently unknown. So, there is that.
Yeah. It's interesting.
Looks promising.
Yep. Next up is me.
Yep.
So next up, Metal Max Xeno Reborn coming west in 2022 for PS4, Switch, and PC. Fight to survive in a never-ending wasteland. This is by Sal Romano for Gamatsu. P-Cube, what a name, will release Metal Max Xeno Reborn for PlayStation 4, Switch, and PC via Steam in the West in 2022, the company announced. The remake of Metal Max Xeno first launched for PlayStation 4 and Switch in September 2020 in Japan. Which is just... There's a summary here. It's just so interesting that this Metal Max Xeno came out in like 2017.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess they decided to like update it because people really weren't satisfied with just how it looked and how it played. I played a little bit of it, and I was not into it.
It is also that it was initially designed for the Vita and PS4 in the early days, so they're probably trying to maximize all the power they can.
I'm looking at the trailer now, and this does look like a bit of an improvement.
Okay. And
it's a very interesting JRPG it's like kind of like Mad Max, and you're in a tank and you fight monsters half the time, and then the other half you're like the actual characters.
And there's a Shiba Inu with a cannon on his back.
Yes.
Yes. So insta buy for me. There's also a new game on the way, so maybe that's why they kind of want to spark interest for the series.
Yeah. Maybe they. Yeah, I wonder.
Yeah, that's my idea at least.
It's not even it's a pretty niche series even in Japan, I'm guessing. Because this was the first, I think Xeno was like the first Metal Max game localized in years, and it's a game I had never heard of before that.
Yeah, I guess as much.
But it's nice that they're still localizing them.
Yeah, because, the more weird RPGs we get, the better. Maybe?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
Alright. Next up is rumors. Square Enix set to announce a new action RPG Final Fantasy spin-off. This is by Imran Khan for Fanbyte. Over the weekend, a number of rumors have swirled about possible E3 announcements, as traditionally happens in the weeks leading up to the industry trade show. In particular, a rumor seemed to swirl around two websites, Reddit and gaming forum Resetera, about a new Final Fantasy spin-off that Square Enix is announcing this year. The rumor states that Square Enix is working with Team Ninja, Koei Tecmo's in-house development team behind games like Ninja Gaiden, Neo, and perhaps most relevantly, the latest entry in the Final Fantasy fighting game series, Dissidia NT. The posted rumors go on further by assigning the game a genre, something akin to Neo or the Souls games, and suggesting it takes place somewhere in or adjacent to the world of the first Final Fantasy game on the NES. Let's see. Do you want me to do everything? Because it's not that much. Let me just continue. Our sources have corroborated this rumor and suggest the name of the game is Final Fantasy Origin.
Not to be confused with the
collection.
PlayStation 1 ports. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a collection of
Origins with an S.
Yeah, that was the collection of Final Fantasy 1 and 2, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Okay. The game, which appears to be exclusive to PS5 with a PC release further down the road, will be one of Square Enix's tentpoles at their upcoming E3 show. For whatever reason, several large chunks of the undated June show have leaked out, including the Final Fantasy Origin logo and demo plans. Square Enix hopes to release an alpha demo this summer, not unlike Neo's public alphas, to solicit feedback from the audience while the game is still in a fairly early state. This demo, like several other major demos, has its own title of Stranger in Paradise. There's some more, so give Imran's article a click. What do you think of Final Fantasy Origin?
Huh?
That's all?
A Final Fantasy Souls-like, huh?
Yeah.
Also, where does the Origin name come from? Is it some kind of weird remake of the first game somehow?
Well, they said it would take place in the world of the first game, or adjacent to it, or maybe even like.
I've never played the first. Like, I haven't played most Final Fantasies yet, but they're on my list.
It's fine.
I know the first one is similar to the first Dragon Quest. It's kind of rough.
It's fine. It's old. You don't have to play it. Just start with Final Fantasy IV. Is my advice. That's the.
What if I start with Final Fantasy IX?
No, I mean if you want to start chronologically, start with 4 because that's the one with the first actual story.
Oh, I see what you mean.
But if you want to like start with something that's beginner friendly and indicative of classic Final Fantasy, then yes, 9 would be a good pick. But what do you think of a Souls-like Final Fantasy game?
I'm curious to see how Souls-like it is, like how it plays, how it maybe differentiates itself from other Souls-like, because you know how like Neo has Souls combat, but it also has the yokai spirits and the stance system. The stance system
and the armor is a bit more layered.
Yeah,
I promise that's not an armor pun. It's a bit more layered than the Dark Souls games, I'd say.
So I'm curious to see what it does, if it does more stuff. Like, I feel like it will.
You also have
especially because it's Final Fantasy, so you'll probably be able to pull off magic a little. You also it's going to be more of a hybrid of physical attacks and magic.
You also have like the spectrum of Final Fantasy VII Remake, Final Fantasy 16, and now Final Fantasy Origin of how to present action combat, because
that's true.
7 Remake is action combat with pause tactical commands. We don't know really how Final Fantasy 16 is going to play. We only had like a very brief trailer. Yeah. Well, not brief, like 3 to 5 minutes, but
we saw very little gameplay.
Yeah, we don't have any details, so we can't really say. And from all indication, this would be kind of like an easier to grasp Souls-like game. Think Jedi Fallen Order.
You mind if I'm going to switch a story real quick?
Sure.
I'm going to put the other Final Fantasy story right after this. Okay.
So yeah, I'll let you handle that Final Fantasy story then.
Yeah, so just I guess we'll hear more hopefully at E3. It'll be interesting to see.
Yes.
That wasn't supposed. I didn't make that rhyme intentionally. Next up in Final Fantasy news, Final Fantasy XIV patch 5.55 notes include main scenario and Yorha details. This is by Jenny Latta for Silicon Era. May 25th, 21, which already happened, so it's out now, is a big day for Final Fantasy XIV. The PS5 version's official service kicked off. It's also the day Death Unto Dawn, the new update, arrived. Now Square Enix supplied Final Fantasy XIV patch 5.55 notes that go over all the things people can expect. Namely, it talked about the new main scenario quests the new Yorha Dark Apocalypse crossover quest, and the Save the Queen Blades of Gunhildr quest. Getting to all these new quests is fairly straightforward. For the new main scenario quest, you need to keep up with what's happening. The company we keep unlocks after you complete When the Dust Settles and have Disciple of War or Magic at level 80, for example. The other 2 new quests unlock after you complete the newly added ones. The Final Fantasy XIV Yorha Dark Apocalypse Whence the Heart Leads quest unlocks when you're at level 80. Have all Konog's messages and finish the questline's other weekly quests. You can start getting into the new Save the Queen Blades of Gunhildr quest by taking on a new playing field after hitting level 80 and doing Futures Futures Rewritten and Fit for a Queen. There are 14 Blades of Gunhildr new quests total. The other new additions came up in the Final Fantasy XIV patch 5.5 notes as well. At the Golden Saucer, you can take on the Adventurer with all the cards if you earned a card in the hand. New Final Fantasy XIV furnishing design contest items can be acquired and placed in homes. You can pick up an electric guitar or Final Fantasy XII Swords of Armor. There's also a new emote, and the hairstyle design contest hairstyle is available in-game. Drop rates for Diamond Gwibber Trumpet and Emerald Gwibber Trumpet are both higher than they were before. Alright, just very short. Just the road to Endwalker, you know?
I mean, I wish I could resub, but maybe it's for the better that my card doesn't work anymore.
Maybe wait on that.
I mean, I don't want to be knee deep into Final Fantasy XIV and everything else.
Yeah.
I need to sleep at some point.
Mm-hmm.
Next up is Virtua Fighter 5 Ultimate Showdown is made by Ryoga Gotoku Studio and Sega AM2. This is by Silicon Era Commander-in-Chief Jenny Latta. Virtua Fighter is coming back. On June 1st, 2021, Virtua Fighter 5 Ultimate Showdown will debut on the PS4. As expected, it's a new look at an old game. However, one unexpected developer is behind it. In addition to Sega AM2, Yakuza developer Ryoga Gotoku Studio RGG Studio is working on it. Shout out to IGN. This new version of Virtua Fighter 5 is a 60th anniversary. 60th? Is it the 60th anniversary project that uses? Like,
wait, 60th? That doesn't sound right.
Is it the 60th in terms of Sega? Its anniversary?
Oh, yeah.
Let's see. Sega.
That's the only thing that would make sense. RGG Studio isn't 60 years old, and neither is the Virtua Fighter series.
Well, Sega was founded 60 years ago, so okay.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, that makes sense. Don't scare me like that. I was about to crumble into dust, but okay. The new version of Virtua Fighter 5 is a 60th anniversary project that uses the RGG Studio Dragon engine, and its opening cinematic is all new. Character models and graphics will be remade. There will also be new UI, online elements, and music for stages. When people play online, there will be options for up to 16 people in a lobby, with some able to watch others fight. There will also be round-robin tournaments. There are 2 trailers out now. Like, one is like a general announcement trailer, and the other one is kind of highlighting the advancements made between like the 2 versions of Virtua Fighter 5. It looks pretty, kind of sparse, but that's probably old game design that they couldn't really do anything with, because it's technically a remaster in a new engine. It's not a full-on remake, so maybe that's why. And they probably want to preserve as much as possible of the older foundation. Next week it will also be free on PlayStation Plus. So if you have PlayStation Plus, a PS4 or a PS5, if you're so lucky, snag it. Support it. Fight me online.
I'll add it to my library.
Okay.
Next up, IGN Expo returning as part of the Summer of Gaming. Expect new game reveals and a lot more. This is by IGN staff. for GameSpot. No, I'm just kidding. For IGN.
That's different.
We're delighted to announce that IGN Expo, an exclusive showcase as part of IGN's Summer of Gaming, will return on June 11th at 1 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. UK. IGN Expo 2021 will bring together new game reveals, never before seen gameplay, and announcements you won't hear from anyone else. We'll also be partnering with Jeff Keighley's Kickoff Live, bringing you more information about the biggest announcements from the June 10th World Premiere Showcase, which you can, of course, also watch with us here on IGN. Last year's Summer of Gaming brought you 5 separate IGN Expo events, debuting exclusive announcements and reveals for the likes of Yakuza Like a Dragon, Borderlands 3, Chivalry 2, and much, much more. With summer events coming back with a vengeance in 2021, we know you're already going to have a loaded schedule, so we're condensing all of our Expo goodness into a single action-packed show with absolutely no downtime. So everything's going to be around the same time this time instead of spread throughout the summer, so I'm just counting it all as part of E3. You know, just mash it all together. All of it's E3 pretty much.
Give us all a break,
which is nice because that means hopefully it means we won't have a 3-month long Summer of Gaming thing.
Yeah,
give our poor news writers a break. Next up, Phantasy Star Online 2. Oops. I accidentally closed the tab and opened a new one.
That tends to happen, I guess.
No, I actually pressed back. That's what I did.
Oh.
Phantasy Star Online 2 new Genesis character creator and benchmark tool released, once again by Jenny Latta for Siliconera. Sega's offered a means of trying Phantasy Star Online 2 new Genesis before getting too invested in the idea of it. The Phantasy Star Online 2 new Genesis character creator and benchmark tool is now online. Here's how it all works. Once someone downloads the 2.8 gig application, they can run the Phantasy Star Online 2 new Genesis character creator on their Windows 8.1 or Windows 10 PC. This is the full character creation suite, like the one in the beta and game. This data can be used in the MMORPG when it launches. As for the benchmark functions, you can use the application to check how your PC handles the game. Part of that will include a brief movie. That video also connects to the character creator. Why do you keep putting periods everywhere? These weird pauses. The Phantasy Star Online 2 new Genesis avatar you made will show up in the clip. This segment also pulls from the game's opening movie. The Phantasy Star Online 2 new Genesis global release date will fall in June 2021, which is weird that we still don't have a release date for it yet. We don't have a day. With the Nintendo Switch, PlayStation 4, and PC noted as official platforms in Japan, and the presentation mentioning Xbox One and PC as global platforms. Sega already revealed its paid swimsuit packs. Oh boy.
I mean, it's a Japanese game, a paid swimsuit
pack. The Phantasy Star Online 2 new Genesis character creator and benchmark tool is out for PCs now. So I saw a couple people writing about playing the beta the other day, and they said it was fun. Like, they didn't have that much time to play it seemed like, but they said it was gorgeous and that the combat was fun. That's really all I got.
I'm willing to give it a try since, I can't resub to Final Fantasy.
I forgot to put my name on this one. My bad.
Yeah.
Okay. Next up, Dead by Daylight Resident Evil Killer will be Nemesis. This is once again by Jenny Latta for Siliconera. Behavior Interactive lifted the curtain on its next Dead by Daylight edition. The Dead by Daylight Resident Evil chapter will launch on June 15, 2021, and include Nemesis as the killer, and both Joe Valentine and Leon S. Kennedy as the survivors. It will cost $11.99. The Resident Evil crossover will take people to the Raccoon City police station map. It looks as it did in Resident Evil 3. Leon and Joe will be survivors, but we only know about one of his special skills at the moment. Leon can use flashbang when generators have started to be repaired. This lets him go into a locker to make a flash grenade to use against the killer. Meanwhile, the Tyrant uses tentacles to attack. Survivors are infected each time he does. This makes him stronger. Zombies will also appear to aid him. These are controlled by AI. However, if Nemesis is the killer on a Dead by Daylight map, then vaccines inspired by Resident Evil will also appear to help survivors recover. That's cool.
Mhm.
This is like the first game that they had. Oh, and it'll be on Nintendo Switch, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Series X, PC, and Stadia on June 15th, 2021.
Yeah.
This is the first time we've had both Silent Hill characters and Resident Evil characters as guest characters in the same game.
Everything is becoming a metaverse. All will become one at some point.
When are they going to add Leprechaun? Okay? Warwick Davis. I know it's going to be when they run out of more famous characters, more well-liked characters.
I'll say this. Maybe keep your eyes peeled for Halloween 2021.
I don't think it's going to... I don't think we'd get him that soon.
Who else will you get? Who else is there?
Do we already have Michael Myers?
Yes.
Jason Voorhees?
No.
Oh, I know there's a rights thing with that.
Yeah,
there's like a weird rights thing with that. Chucky?
Probably Freddy Krueger.
Yeah, Freddy Krueger, Chucky.
The Necromorph.
Necromorph.
From Alien.
Xenomorph.
Oh, Xenomorph? Necromorph. What is that?
I was like, what?
That's a different species. Wait. Now I want to know.
Predator?
Is there a Necromorph?
Can they even do that? Can they put Predator in that? Since Predator has its own thing?
Yeah. I mean, gameplay-wise, it would be the same.
Yeah.
Oh, Necromorph is from Dead Space, so it could work.
Pumpkinhead? Well, I guess that's a Xenomorph. That's a little different.
Yeah.
Whatever. We'll see. Dead by Daylight always looks fun.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just like, I don't know. I never have people to play it with. So
you'd have to play with randoms then.
Yeah, and I also just I don't have the game downloaded or anything. I know it's on Game Pass, and it always looks fun, but I just don't know. I feel like I'm never in the mood to play it.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of those types of things. I don't know, but it's cool that it's getting all these crossovers.
Mm-hmm.
That's still cool. Next up, Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl launched November 19th. This is by Saruman for Gamatsu. Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl will launch for Switch on November 19th worldwide, the company announced. A double pack featuring both versions will also be available. That is the same day as the early access of Final Fantasy XIV Endwalker.
Mm-hmm.
We have Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Pokemon Shining Pearl are faithful remakes of Pokemon Diamond version and Pokemon Pearl version, which were released on the Nintendo DS system in 2006. Whether or not players have explored the Sinnoh region before, they can look forward to this great adventure reborn on Nintendo Switch. The original story has been faithfully reproduced, and various game functions have been colorfully revitalized. Trainers can expect an adventure through the Sinnoh region that feels both nostalgic and fresh. And the people were noticing on the cover that like the character models for Dialga and Palkia were like more highly rendered and more detailed than usual.
Listen, I'm gonna need you all to go outside and breathe some air, cause this has been a thing since the dawn of video games. Stop making this a thing.
No, because it's just the art. It's just the box art, but it's the fact that like people were kind of joking around, like, wait, Palkia is fuzzy, because like when you zoom in, you see it has like fur, and I was like, huh, never really thought of that Pokemon have fur, but okay.
It's gonna change from interpretation to interpretation, because if it's an anime, it's gonna look different, and if it's pixelated, it's gonna look different. So it's not that important.
Dude, for years I did not know. I thought Poliwag just had a weird nose. I didn't know that was his mouth.
Well,
and then I thought Dunsparce was upside down.
I could see that. I
thought his fangs were, I thought his fangs were horns.
Yeah. I also have that with a Pokemon. The one who said Mawile?
I could see that because of the way it.
Yeah.
Because of the way the sprite was in the older game. Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, the ponytail is it's kind of
the
also
mouth thing.
A mouth thing.
It's like a backwards mouth. It's a second mouth, but it's a second mouth.
It's
Because
so
it has a normal mouth on its face.
it's cool looking, also freaky looking, but
Yeah.
I'll just say
Next Pokemon story. Pokemon Legends Arceus launches January 28th, 2022.
this
Create
was
and
the
complete
most
Sinnoh region's first Pokédex.
surprising bit of news of the week.
Once again by Saruman for Gamatsu. Pokemon Legends I disagree with that. Pokemon Legends Arceus will launch for Switch on January 28th, 2022, the Pokemon Company announced. Because they said early 2022 in the original announcement.
The thing is, early 2022 could mean up until March, April. Because
That is true.
That's where Q4 2021 ends. So that was what I was basing it off. But also, when you look at the announcement
Don't
trailer,
you think they would have said Q1 though? Well, they didn't say Q1. Well,
yeah, they just said early 2022.
Yeah.
But the thing is, if you look at the announcement trailer, it looks so rough and
Yeah.
like it needed a lot of work. So it being so close to release kind of makes me think things, and I'm just not sure of the quality at this point. But
I don't know. Well,
as is the motto of the show, I guess we'll see.
but also remember, if the rumors of the Switch Pro or whatever it's called coming out, I wonder if
That would boost the performance.
If that would help, yeah.
That is possible, but I was also thinking that maybe they couldn't get all the assets in order due to the pandemic, and that made for like a choppy looking trailer.
Yeah, that's what I wonder. And it might have been like a much earlier build too.
There's also that. So who really knows? I guess we'll see.
I'm surprised they announced the release date now before showing more footage. That's a bit weird.
I think a Pokemon Direct is probably imminent at this point then.
Or E3.
Or E3,
showing more gameplay
yeah.
at the Nintendo Direct, yeah.
But,
and
Pokemon is kind of its own dedicated thing at this point. Not so much part of Nintendo Showcase, but we'll see.
I will stay cautiously optimistic until proven otherwise.
Yeah, I have no opinion at this point. I'm just, I guess we'll see.
Now for the Mon game that actually matters.
Wow.
Monster Hunter Stories 2, Wings of Ruin, 4th trailer and screenshots. This is by Saruman for Gamatsu. It's okay. I'm a huge Pokemon fan. I know I wouldn't be a fan of all these other things if I hadn't played the yellow version back in the day.
Okay.
Capcom has released the 4th official trailer and new screenshots for Monster Hunter Stories 2, Wings of Ruin. Here are the latest details via Capcom. The latest trailer for Monster Hunter Stories 2, Wings of Ruin provided fans with their first glimpse of the rage-inducing light that has suddenly begun infecting monsters around the world. The trailer also teased new story details about the protagonist's connection with Razewing Ratha, the whereabouts of their grandfather, the legendary Monster Rider Red, and some returning characters from Monster Hunter Stories. While the connection between the Rage Rays, the global disappearance of Rathalos, and the birth of Razewing Ratha is unclear, players can rely upon the assistance of their battle buddy, Avinia, and her Monstie Frostfang, who make their return from Monster Hunter Stories to help unravel the mystery. In addition to providing more tantalizing story details for fans to chew on, the May Digital event also provided a first look at how Monster Riders will collect and enhance their Monstie companions. In order to collect new Monstie eggs, players will have to plumb the depths of any monster dens they encounter out in the field. Monster dens come in all shapes and sizes, with rarer dens containing elusive monster eggs which have the potential for hard-to-find genes. After returning to the stables with new eggs in tow, players can hatch the eggs to discover what new Monstie they've acquired, and use the Rite of Channeling feature to transfer unique genes from one Monstie to another. By combining genes of the same element or attack type, players can create a team of incredibly specialized Monsties, or mix genes from different monsters to create a more versatile Monstie capable of using skills of every attack type and element. So pretty much the same gameplay of the first one.
Yeah, I was looking at the
trailer. Now there's just also co-op battles.
I was looking at the trailer and I was like, I know all of this. Thanks, first game.
So I didn't know. I mean, it kind of seemed like, maybe we'd get some guest partner battle buddy characters. because it reminds me of when double battles were first introduced in Pokemon, and sometimes you get like characters to join you for story reasons, and it seems like they're taking a little bit of inspiration from that, maybe.
Yes, but it's.
But it's also Monster Hunter, so co-op is like a thing.
It's a bit different, but well, yeah.
Yeah. I'm very excited to do online co-op. So yeah, still my most anticipated game. Still my most anticipated game of the year. After that, I have no idea. Like, after Monster Hunter Stories 2 comes out, I'm probably just going to go into hibernation.
I mean, I'm pretty stoked for it, too. The colorful graphics, the music.
We can play together.
Yeah, we can. We'll see. Also, slightly breaking news, but Monster Hunter Rise has hit 7 million in sales.
Did you say 7 million?
Yeah, 7 million.
Okay. At first I thought you said several million, and I was like,
that's true.
Specific.
Yeah.
Speaking of Monster Hunter Rise, Monster Hunter Rise version 3.0 update launched today, May 27th. Crimson's Glow, Valstrax, and Apex Zinogre join the fray. This is by Saruman for Gamatsu. The version 3.0 update for Monster Hunter Rise launched on May 27th, Capcom announced. It adds new huntable monsters Crimson Glow, Valstrax, and Apex Zinogre, as well as a new ending to advance the story and more. There's new monsters in Hub Quest, new monsters in Rampage, new quests, a new combat locale, new weapon trees, armor and layered armor, new skills and Rampage skills. You can change the appearance of Rampage weapons using certain materials. New guild card awards, new downloadable content. There's a bunch of bug fixes. There's version 3.0. They have you can have the head of a Palamute now on your character, which is kind of terrifying.
Yeah, you mean like a like not a literal head, but kind of something that resembles it.
Oh, it's like almost exactly its head and neck.
But less terrifying if you see it.
It's a mask. It's a mask.
Yeah. It's less terrifying if you put it like that.
And then they also released a roadmap where version 3.0 has the stuff I already mentioned. Mid-June, we will get Capcom collaboration number 1 with Monster Hunter Stories 2, Wings of Ruin, Palico layered armor, Tsukino costume.
Mm-hmm.
End of June, we'll have version 3.1, downloadable content and event quest. End of July, we'll have 3.2 with Capcom collaboration number 2, downloadable content and event quest. And at the end of August, we'll have 3.3 with Capcom collaboration number 3, downloadable content and event quest. I already downloaded it. It's like 1 point something gigs. It's like a gig and a half.
That's a meaty boy. That's a chonker.
Yeah, so I'll get back to that at some point. Right now, I'm waiting for my friend to get to high rank so we can, because we actually. Oh, actually, I'm waiting for 2 friends because another friend of ours actually just got it.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to wait for them too, and so now we have 4 people.
Oh wow! I mean,
because it's funny because we have a group of 4 people, but like it's like most of the time, all 4 of us can't agree. It'll usually be just 3 of us, and then every once in a while, maybe the 4 of us will agree on something.
I mean, I'd say I'd join you, but at this point, I'm kind of checked out.
Also, just time differences.
Yeah, there's also that. Because I'm sure if you...
Because I play Monster Hunter in the morning. Well, you'd be off, but...
but I'd be...
but you'd be working probably.
Yeah, knee deep in work. Anyway. Next up is...
Anyway, that's cool.
Xbox and Bethesda Games Showcase set for June 13th. This is by Sal Romano for Gamatsu. Microsoft and Bethesda Softworks will host the Xbox and Bethesda Games Showcase on June 13th at 10 a.m. Pacific Time, 1 p.m. Eastern Time, the companies announced. You will be able to watch it on YouTube, Twitch, Facebook, and Twitter. The 90-minute showcase will feature everything you want to know about the epic gaming lineup coming out of the Xbox and Bethesda Softworks partnership, The incredible games coming to Xbox this holiday and upcoming releases on Xbox Game Pass and more. So that wasn't really specific. It's just
I'm very excited for the Blinks the Time Sweeper remake.
it was just basically
That's
saying
not happening.
we will announce games. That's
Well, yeah. They don't want to spoil anything.
sure, but this has become laughable at this point, where companies announce that they will announce games.
It's the meme where, like, hey, what do you expect? What are your E3 predictions? And, like, games will be announced.
Yeah,
And they just took it and ran with it.
that's definitely my expectation of E3. Anyway, moving on. Roger Craig Smith returns.
Make sure to wait. Hold on. Make sure to check out our E3 reactions when we do them.
Mm-hmm.
We'll be live streaming them.
Yeah.
We don't know if Jason will be there yet, but we may have some other guests.
Yeah.
But I think we just have, what do we have? Xbox and Nintendo are like the big ones. But then there's supposed to be Capcom and Bandai Namco are supposed to be doing stuff, or are they just going to be part of the other things? It's like kind of unclear.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Square Enix. It's kind of unclear as of yet, and this is next week, or no, not next
month.
week, in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah, next month. So, and we just don't know. It's so weird. We don't know the full schedule yet, but we'll see what happens.
I think you'll see it.
I will let you know.
See a schedule next week.
Keep an eye on the Info Japan Twitter for updates on that.
Yeah. Next up is Roger Craig Smith returns to voice Sonic the Hedgehog. This is by Imran Khan and for Fanbyte.
I'll be right back.
Yeah. Like a lot of his contemporary platform mascot leads, Sonic the Hedgehog does not shut up. Ouch. The blue furball with attitude has gone from general spin sounds to fully voiced dialogue and monologues over the decades with multiple different voice actors. For the past decade, Sonic had been voiced by Roger Craig Smith, who is also known for voicing characters like Chris Redfield in the Resident Evil series. Earlier this year, however, Smith departed the role of Sonic and seemingly not entirely by his own choice. Saying, well, 10 years was an amazing run, onward to new zones. Smith tweeted in January, posting a picture of a broken blue heart. He did not give any...
Wait, hang on. He was Chris in Resident Evil 8?
No, not in 8.
Oh, okay.
That's Jeff Shine, who also did Captain America in the Marvel Avengers game of Square Enix.
Okay.
I think he was Chris Redfield between 5 and 6.
Okay, maybe that's why his voice sounded familiar on the Sonic stream today.
Yeah.
Or maybe because I just have heard him voice Sonic before. Who knows?
He's also Ezio Auditore. So
yeah, that too.
And Batman.
Yeah, he's a lot of things. Very prolific voice actor.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, 10 years was an amazing run. Onward to new zones. Smith tweeted in January, posting a picture of a broken blue heart. He did not give any reasons for why he was leaving the role, though fan speculation was that Sega was looking to flip the game's consistent cast with voices that were either from the Sonic the Hedgehog movie or sounded closely similar. Coordinated efforts began among Sonic fans to restore Smith to the role, though Smith himself remained quiet about the circumstances in which he left. It appears those efforts have worked, as Smith confirmed today that he is staying on as Sonic in future games, alongside a picture of a broken blue heart being sewn back together. I admire his dedication to this bit. He tweets, "I can't fully express my gratitude for the Sonic the Hedgehog crew and community. I hope to honor your support and passion as I'm officially back voicing Sonic the Hedgehog in games. Can't wait to see what we have planned. Thank you from the bottom of my blue heart." Click on the article if you want full details. I'm happy for Roger Craig Smith.
Yeah, it's good for him.
Yeah. Next up is Sonic Colors Ultimate announced for PS4, Xbox One, Switch, and PC. This is by Sal Romano for Komatsu. Publisher Sega and developer Blind Squirrel Engine have announced Sonic Colors Ultimate for PS4, Xbox One, Switch, and PC via the Epic Games Store. It will launch on September 7th. The game will be available in the following editions: Standard, Digital Standard, and Digital Deluxe, ranging between $39.99 and $44.99. You can click on the article for the full breakdown, trailer, and preview of the animated episode coming this summer or summer next year.
Yeah.
Let me check.
Yeah, something like that.
Let me check real quick.
So I've never played Sonic Colors, but I always hear it's one of the better ones. So I'm interested in picking this up.
I should have it in my Steam library.
But it comes out the same week as Tales of Arise.
Oh no! Don't do that to me. I will be busy for the foreseeable future.
Or
then.
wait, or maybe 2 days. Yeah, the same week.
Okay. No, I will be busy. Sorry. I love you, Sonic, but sorry.
Tales of Arise comes out after, if that helps at all.
We'll see.
You can finish Sonic. You can finish Sonic Colors in 2 days.
That's giving me too much credit in my abilities, but we'll see. Next up is Sonic Origins compilation announced for the latest platforms. This is by Sal Romano for Gamatsu. Sega has announced Sonic Origins, a compilation including Sonic the Hedgehog, Sonic the Hedgehog 2, Sonic 3 and Knuckles, and Sonic CD with added content and features for the latest platforms. Specific platforms and a release date were not announced. More information will be announced soon. Also of note, Sonic Fighters is available in
Sonic the Fighters?
In Lost Judgment.
It's also like $5 on Xbox.
I mean, if you buy Judgment, the sequel, you get 2 games at once. So, hey, there's that. Next up is new Sonic the Hedgehog game announced for PS5, Xbox Series, PS4, Xbox One.
Wait, hold on. For the Sonic Origins thing, apparently it's like one of the first times one of these collections has included Sonic 3 for some reason.
Yeah, it's always Sonic and Knuckles if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. So that's
Yeah.
So good. That's good that I included that this time.
Yeah.
I'm not the biggest fan of like 2D Sonic, like especially not classic 2D Sonic.
Oh man, they are so fun.
I'm more for 2D Sonic, I'm more a fan of like Sonic Advance. That's like the exception for me. The Sonic Advance series. When are we getting an HD collection of that?
One day we'll make a documentary of your life. And
I'm not the only one. I was talking to my friend and he said the same thing. He's like, yeah, no, that's what I was going to say. Sonic Advance.
And that documentary will be incredible.
It will not. It will be actually very boring.
I still want to see it. Anyway. New Sonic the Hedgehog game announced for PS5, Xbox Series, PS4, Xbox One, Switch, and PC, due out in 2022. This is by Sal Romano for Gamatsu. Sega has announced a new Sonic the Hedgehog game from Sonic Team for PS5, Xbox Series, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Switch, and PC. It will launch in 2022. You can click on the article to watch the teaser. Some people are speculating it's called Sonic Zap.
And there is a supposed leak that is called Sonic Rangers, that it's open world, and then it takes some inspiration from Breath of the Wild, because what big franchise apparently doesn't these days.
Sure, but take a leak with a grain of salt. Also,
yeah, take the leak with a grain of salt.
Rangers could be the code name, and Zap could
Rangers could be the code name, and Zap could be the actual name.
Yeah.
Or that might not even say Zap. It might just be a weird symbol that looks like it says Zap.
It being the Sonic team, I wouldn't put it past him.
Other people were speculating that maybe it's like some kind of color sequel, or maybe has a similar mechanic, because people noticed there was like a similar sound effect at the beginning of the teaser.
Sonic fans are dedicated, man. Anyway, if I wouldn't put it past him to 180 what the meaning is of Zap, or if it is Zap at all. It's like, God.
Can you give me in modern graphics? Can you give me a new Chow Garden, please?
Or a mobile game of Chow Garden?
No, I want this to be an actual minigame in the console game.
Eh,
Like it was in Sonic Adventure 2 Battle. Or Sonic Adventure 2.
We'll see. Next
Don't you F me. Chow Garden is amazing.
I mean, I liked it. I played a lot
There's
of
actually
Chow
a really
Garden.
good fan game. There's a really good Chow Garden fan game.
Next up is Nintendo Switch Pro reveal expected before E3. This is by Tom Phillips for Eurogamer. Nintendo's long-awaited Switch upgrade is expected to be shown ahead of E3 2021, according to a report published by Bloomberg. Parentheses, there's a paywall. So
Yeah, I originally had the Bloomberg article there, and then when I tried to read it, I was like, oh.
yeah, I mean, we should be paying for news, but also
support people when you can. But also, we are still in a pandemic technically, and I know a lot of people are short on money right now.
Yeah. Published by Bloomberg today and Eurogamer's own sources. I understand this is to ensure third parties working on games which support the upgraded Switch are free to announce these projects at E3 and before Nintendo's own digital showcase later in that week. Nintendo's event has yet to be formally dated, but it's currently set to slot in after other publishers toward the end of E3, though of course dates can still shift. You can click on the article for a full breakdown. According to several insiders, the leak is supposed to be happening today, Thursday, the 27th of May. Fingers crossed. But we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, it seems weird to announce it before E3, but
Yeah, but the reasoning tracks. They're like, we don't want to pull away attention from our partners. Then they're free to say, hey, it's on Switch Pro. And also, from all indication that I've read today, it's that the new Switch is supposed to phase out the current Switch and revised Switch models, and the Switch Lite, will then be a complementary system to the Switch Pro. So there's that, and it will probably cost $399. And pretty much everyone on the inside is pretty confident with that price. So there you go.
Next up, and the last story before we get to our main topic, Fall Guys Bomberman collaboration will come to both games. This is by Kite Stenbuck for Siliconera, and this is one of the best crossovers ever. Konami and Mediatonic revealed a two-way collaboration between Bomberman and Fall Guys. The two companies will add new content from each franchise to both games. Mediatonic will add a Bomberman-inspired costume to Fall Guys Ultimate Knockout on June 4th, 2021. Players will be able to get the special costume by trading in 10 crowns. Each half of it will cost 5 crowns. Well, I'm never getting that. Likewise, Konami will add a new character inspired by the Jelly Beans in Super Bomberman R Online. It will put the Bean Bomber into the in-game store for players to obtain. Both games have been known for including characters inspired by many other franchises. Before this reveal, Mediatonic had added Fall Guys costumes based on Doom, Sonic the Hedgehog, and VTuber Kizuna AI, and also Godzilla. Super Bomberman R, the predecessor to the new online version, was also known for adding the WWE wrestler Xavier Woods. I did not know that. And platform-exclusive characters such as Peabody, Master Chief, and Ratchet and Clank. Super Bomberman Online R actually just came out today for PS4, Xbox One, Nintendo Switch, and PC. It's also playable on backwards compatibility for PS5 and Series X. And it's free.
Yeah.
So you can try it out. I need to download it. It's like 8 gigs, I think. Yeah. So hopefully I'll do like a little video of playing that with some people at some point. So moving on to our main topic, the Dragon Quest 35th anniversary live stream. So did you stay up for this or were you asleep?
I was knocked the hell out. I woke up and I was like, oh, I missed that. And then I watched the
then you went back to sleep?
No, I couldn't fall.
Oh, it was morning by that time?
Yeah, it was like 3 a.m. by that time. Or not 2 a.m. And I couldn't fall back asleep, so I watched the stream and I watched your reaction video. So There's
This
that.
was the first time. Okay, so we'll get to that.
Mhm.
But so first they announced so the first thing announced was a puzzle game called Dragon Quest Keshi Keshi, announced for iOS and Android. This is from Saruman for Gamatsu, due out in 2021 in Japan. We don't know about a worldwide release date yet, but it's possible. Publisher Square Enix and developer NHN PlayArt announced puzzle game Dragon Quest Keshi Keshi for iOS and Android during the Dragon Quest 35th anniversary special live stream. It will launch in 2021 in Japan. A Western release date is also planned. Oh, okay. And it's just like a match 3 puzzle game, and this erasers of all the different Dragon Quest characters and monsters. It looks pretty cute.
Yeah.
It's nothing. I think it's gonna be free too.
I mean, so far all mobile puzzle games have been free to play, so that tracks.
So that was fine. And also, like, the port, I just have to mention, the translator did such a good job, but that must have been so hard for her, given that it wasn't scripted.
Yeah, I mean,
she had to live translate.
There's a script, you have to live translate, and the presenters are usually
the other thing is
prone to veer off of script. So
and also the other thing is but like on the other hand, you don't want anything to leak. So you don't want to give a bunch of people the script, and then
there's also that.
Because remember the host he did not know Joy. He did not know what was in store. He did not know anything about any of the announcements. Then they announced Dragon Quest 10 5.5, and they had a little thing in the corner that said not planned for worldwide release. And they teased 6.0, also not planned for worldwide release.
At the moment. Yeah.
But they also announced Dragon Quest X Offline, due out 2022 in Japan. This is by Saruman for Gamatsu. And this one did not have the little disclaimer in it. So we could be getting this version.
Yeah, they have
Square Enix announced Dragon Quest X Offline during the 35th 35th anniversary special live stream. Platforms were not announced. It will launch in 2022 in Japan. It has a super deformed style. They're aiming for a style that's as nostalgic as it is charming. It almost thought a lot. Of course, it's only the visuals that have changed, but I'll save the full details for a future announcement. Like, I almost thought this was a new Builders game at first.
Well,
because of the super deformed style.
The how do you say this? The grid-based map style would be that giveaway in that case, but that wasn't present. So I
think a lot of people were hoping for Builders 3, but I think the main guy for Builders, like the director, or I forgot what his position was, but I think he left last year. Not to say they wouldn't make another one without him, but maybe
that sounds like true-ish. But yeah, I mean, it doesn't stop them from making Builders 3, but
that's true. It's
probably them thinking, oh, we're kind of busy with everything else. We'll get to Builders 3 at some point.
Hang on, I'm gonna find it. I think it was a while ago. Oh yeah, Dragon Quest Builders series director Kazuya Nino leaves Square Enix. This was 2 years. This was in 2019. I thought it was 2020. Yeah, but hopefully we get a version of Dragon Quest X. Some people were really unhappy with the super deformed art style, but at this point, I'm happy with anything.
Yeah,
any version of Dragon Quest X.
It's like if they were to remake it, like HDify it, it would take up a lot of resources, and they don't have the manpower to dedicate so many teams to be making HD fully open world RPGs.
Yeah, MMOs. Yeah, especially you have to remember there's also the online component. Well, I guess this is offline, so it's a little different. But like a lot of things are probably changed that we don't know yet.
Yeah, and if it were to be coming to the West, I don't know. It's also dependent on how dense the script is for the translation and localization.
Yeah.
because they are now going to be modifying an MMO into an offline RPG. So how much will be cut out, how much will be left in, and how does it all make sense in the grand scheme of things? And then you also have to localize that. So it's going to take up a lot of effort. But it's not
and we don't actually know if it's getting localized, but
it's not impossible.
Yeah, they didn't say it wasn't.
Yeah. So keep your eyes peeled.
This next announcement was the first one in the reaction that I really visibly was very excited for, as you saw in the reaction video. Yeah. So, Dragon Quest III HD 2D remake announced for consoles, aiming for simultaneous worldwide release. And this is once again by Sawamura for Gamatsu. And there's a lot more Dragon Quest fans on my on my timeline than I thought.
Yeah.
Publisher Square Enix and developers Amata KK and Team Asano announced Dragon Quest III HD 2D remake for consoles during the Dragon Quest 35th anniversary special livestream. A release date was not announced, but a simultaneous worldwide release is planned. Here's the message from producer Masaki Hayazaki. Up to now, I've worked on various games such as Octopath Traveler and various Day Life. The HD 2D style we're using combines pixel art with 3D effects to produce a sense of depth and atmosphere like nothing else. Our hope is that by creating Dragon Quest III in this HD 2D style, everyone will have the chance to experience the game through fresh eyes. From adults who have played the original back when it was first released to little kids picking it up for the first time. We're aiming for a simultaneous worldwide release on home consoles. The release date hasn't been decided yet, but when it is, you'll be the first to know. And this game looks amazing. I'm actually kind of surprised they only highlighted the Nintendo and Super Nintendo versions and not the Game Boy Color version.
I think it's
because that one is also known for very good visuals for the platform.
I think it's, as they said in the announcement, they kind of wanted to highlight a game that is fondly remembered by an older generation, and they want to give newcomers an entry point into the Dragon Quest series. And
and this is one of the most popular entries in Japan.
Yeah, I figured it would be a toss-up between Dragon Quest 3 and 5.
But 5 is also very good. Hey, they could do 5 like this eventually.
I mean, I think
he did tease 1 and 2.
Yeah, they made an offhand remark who knows? Maybe
we'll do it. They blew the whistle on that. It's like, oh, we want to.
I can imagine the producer saying, "Don't add more work for us. We're already too busy."
Dragon Quest 1 could really use an update, like an update, as in some quality of life stuff.
Yeah,
that game is hard to get around,
and it's also pretty short, if I'm not mistaken.
It's only 10 hours.
So maybe it will be
if you know where to go, unlike me.
Like a Dragon Quest 1 and 2 double pack in HD 2D.
Like the Game Boy version?
Maybe.
I told you that story, right? The whole I bought Dragon Quest 1 and 2 thinking it was Dragon Quest Monsters, and I was like, oh, you can't recruit the monsters in this one. Well, this game is bad. When I was 6.
Oh boy.
That's back when I got games based on the cover.
Oh, we all remember that time.
But yeah, I saw Lucas White, friend of the show. He mentioned that the battle screen reminded him a little bit of Golden Sun.
Yeah, and every Nintendo fan heart broke because they want Golden Sun again. So
yeah. Golden Sun still looks really good for a Game Boy Advance game. I'm excited to play it once the Analog Pocket comes out.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I'm very excited for this. Even though I'll have 3 versions of Dragon Quest 3 now.
Hey man, the more the merrier.
But hey, I didn't know 2 years ago that they'd be remaking this. So
I think
to look like this.
This is a test bed for an eventual Final Fantasy VI remake.
That's what a lot of people think, yeah.
And maybe even Chrono Trigger, but who knows?
So I do like how even though it's in a similar style to Octopath Traveler, it's not.
It's different enough.
Yeah, it differentiates itself. It's not the same type of battle screen and the same type of overworld and this and that.
Which does make me think that Octopath Traveler 2 is kind of a ways out. I mean,
that's what Project Triangle Strategy.
I mean, that's kind of like now a different series within their studio's repertoire, but yeah, who knows?
But I'm very excited for this. I wonder. I think it's just gonna be on all console, like all platforms.
Yeah, graphics wise, it doesn't seem as demanding as Dragon Quest XI, so it could be on everything.
I'm very excited for this game. I know it's the end of the day, so it doesn't really sound like it that much, but
yeah, I'd pre-order it right now if it was available to pre-order.
Oh, I am. If there's a collector's edition, I'm probably picking that up.
Yeah.
And this was probably the biggest announcement from the live stream, or at least the most as in like the most detailed and like the one that seemed to get the people most excited, at least from my experience.
Okay, I can see that.
Next, they announced Dragon Quest Treasures.
They debated
Dragon Quest XI's Eric and Mia by Sarumono Fugamatsu. Square Enix announced RPG Dragon Quest Treasures, which stars Eric and Mia from Dragon Quest XI Echoes of an Elusive Age during the Dragon Quest 35th Anniversary special livestream. A release date was not announced, but a simultaneous worldwide release is planned. Here's a message from producer Taichi Inuzuka. We're working on a completely new spin-off of the Dragon Quest series called Dragon Quest Treasures. You may have seen us show designs for Eric and Mia as children before, and through various twists and turns, they've become the lead characters of Treasures. I can't reveal too much about the game at the moment, but I can tell you some important key themes. Eric and Mia's childhood and treasure hunting. It's an RPG, but nothing at all like a traditional one. And that's just about all I can say right now. The release date and the platforms it will be playable on are as yet unannounced, but we're working closely with Dragon Quest game designer Yuji Horii to make worldwide simultaneous release happen. We'll bring you information at a later date. So it seems like there's like, so far the gameplay we've just seen a couple of like them finding treasures and a little bit of platforming. I'm curious to see what more of this spin-off looks like. But the interesting thing is, so you remember when they said before they were having difficulties with Dragon Quest Monsters, the title that was in development, right?
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
What?
Yeah, okay.
No,
you're still here. You're just thinking for a sec. So I think what happened was maybe they were trying to add a bunch of the Dragon Quest Treasures gameplay to the Dragon Quest Monsters game, and it was just all together. It was just kind of too much. And they did say a Dragon Quest Monsters game is in development. Like, they did make a quick comment about that. So I think they just separated it into two games instead.
Could be.
What's interesting, though, is the Dragon Quest Monsters games, with the exception of the Joker series, they always star kid versions of Dragon Quest characters. The first Dragon Quest Monsters is Terry. Well, no, with the exception of the Joker series and Dragon Quest Monsters 2. Because the original Dragon Quest Monsters has Terry from Dragon Quest 6, Dragon Quest Caravan Heart for the Game Boy Advance, which was Japan exclusive, but has a fan translation, had Cypher from Dragon Quest 7, and obviously Dragon Quest Monsters was originally going to have Eric and Mia.
Yeah.
From Dragon Quest 11. But I'm still excited to see more of this. I just want to know what more of the gameplay kind of entails. Like, if it's like a platformer or if it's...
I think you can safely say it's a platformer. with some action combat.
Yeah, I'm curious to see a little more. I kind of like how they're pirates and they're searching for treasure. That's fun.
That's definitely up your alley.
Yeah. Disappointed it's not a Monsters game, but at least we know there's a Monsters game still in development.
Could you give?
Although it may still be a while.
Could you give the audience like your 5-minute pitch for why Dragon Quest Monsters is so fun?
Okay, so Dragon Quest Monsters. So if you've played Dragon Quest V, in Dragon Quest V, you can recruit monsters to your party, but the monster recruiting system is kind of random.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not the best system when it comes to recruiting monsters. Dragon Quest Monsters built on top of that, and so when you do well in battle or a high enough level or feed the monsters you're fighting meat, monsters will join you.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a 3-on-3 monster taming game. So it's like it still plays like a Dragon Quest game.
Oh, okay.
Like the older ones. You're just playing as your monsters instead of giving orders to your monsters rather than playing as the characters.
Okay.
Or playing as Terry rather. I don't know what else to say besides that.
I mean, I get it.
It's almost like Dragon Quest Pokemon, but it's not, because Dragon Quest V came out in 1992. Although Monsters did probably come out due to the popularity of Pokemon.
There is that.
And the Game Boy Advance game I mentioned is kind of different, in which your character also fights. So it's a little similar to something like Ni no Kuni or Yokai Watch 4.
Monster Hunter Stories.
Or Monster Hunter Stories, yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm curious to see more.
Yeah.
And next we had a teaser for Dragon Quest XII, once again by Sawamura Furumatsu. A simultaneous worldwide release is planned, and they officially announced Dragon Quest XII: The Flames of Fate. Platforms and release date not yet known. According to Dragon Quest game designer Yuji Horii, Dragon Quest XII: The Flames of Fate will feature dark, mature content and force players to make various decisions to determine their way of life. The series' traditional command battles will also be revamped, but fans of the series should be able to enjoy it without discomfort. Dragon Quest XII: The Flames of Fate will run on Unreal Engine 5 and is directed by Takeshi Uchikawa. Square Enix is currently hiring staff to work on the game. According to Horii, while the story is complete and only needs to be implemented, this is a big game, so there's still some time to go before completion. So some people are concerned about because he kind of said Dragon Quest for adults, but I don't think he meant...
It's not going to turn into Berserk, so calm down.
It's not going to be grimdark like that and edgy. Because like Dragon Quest 11, other Dragon Quest games get dark. It's just, I think he meant because of decisions. Maybe there's going to be some kind of, choice based. Maybe you can be a hero or villain or something.
It could also be that they're kind of moving beyond the whimsical nature of Dragon Quest into something more, I want to say, Lord of the Rings, The Hobbit-esque, by way of...
I believe Akira Toriyama is still the artist as well.
They haven't confirmed anything, so...
I think they did. I thought they did during the live stream. They said we're still, it's still the original people working on it. Unfortunately, I think that means Sugiyama still composed the music, and...
Yeah, he's a wrongin'.
Yeah, not great.
Yeah. But, it could mean so many things. We literally have only the title logo, so we really don't know.
And he also said command battles will be revamped. And I remember our colleague Chris Penwell, he said, then it's likely going to be action-based. And I'm like, I don't think so. I think it's going to be... They're going to expand on what they added in 11 for no reason. With how there's movement. Maybe the movement will actually positioning might matter a little more.
Yeah, I think it might actually matter. Something in the direction of Persona 5 rather than Final Fantasy VII Remake. Because as much as they probably
I still expect it to be turn-based.
Yeah, that's why I said Persona 5 Royal or Persona 5, because that's also turn-based, but it's so fluid and quick that it almost doesn't seem turn-based. It could also be, as you said, that positioning would play a major role in how attacks are pulled off.
Because in 11, the moving does nothing. It's just, we just thought it looked cool.
Yeah, I immediately turned it off because I am not going to waste my time moving.
You don't need it.
If it doesn't do anything. Yeah, so.
Unless you want to take, like, funny screenshots or something. I don't know.
Yeah, no, don't bother. You can do better things with your time. But yeah, I'm kind of pumped. I kind of want to reinstall Dragon Quest XI on my Switch, but we'll see. I have so many other things to do. We'll see. Yeah, I'm excited. It does feel kind of ominous, the Flames of Fate. Maybe that... What do I want to say? Maybe Yuji Ori saw the gameplay of Dragon Quest, Mass Effect, and The Witcher and was like, I wonder how that would be, making choices to affect the story. That's not to say that it's going to be as grim dark as Western RPGs, but
yeah,
I mean, some interesting things can still come out of this, but we'll see.
Yeah.
Do you think we'll be able to choose our own protagonist, or
like create your own? Yeah, people are speculating maybe there will be some kind of character creation, a la Dragon Quest 9 or Dragon Quest 10.
Yeah.
Which would be interesting. I would love if they kept like the races from Dragon Quest 10, because so you wouldn't be stuck as a human. But I don't expect that, especially with the offline version coming.
Yeah. A female character would be nice.
That too. Austin King from Dragon Quest, the Dragon Quest FM podcast, wrote about that for Screen Rant not too long ago. I think it was on a recommended reading.
Oh, nice.
I again don't expect it,
but it would be nice.
It would be a nice change.
Yeah.
If there's no character creation, type of thing. It's a ways out. So
yeah,
I do wonder when Dragon Quest 3 remake will come out though. Like how soon?
I mean, they are aiming for 2022, I think, or 2023. But I think we mentioned, was it like two podcasts ago, about the possibility of Dragon Quest 12 being announced, and I think I said that it's unlikely, but if they do, it's probably a ways out. Because
you were right about that.
It's still so close to Dragon Quest 11.
Just tease the logo.
Yeah.
Well, in Japan, Dragon Quest 11 came out like 4 years ago.
Yeah, but that's still too close. And if they are migrating to Unreal Engine 5, which is...
plus there's 11S, I guess.
Yeah. If they are starting with Unreal Engine 5, with just released in early access, it's still going to be taking some time, and they're still hiring for positions. So maybe next year we'll get a trailer and some...
Yeah. The other thing is I was surprised there was no news about ports of 4 through 6 or anything else.
Well, this was a lot to announce.
Yeah, this was it was. I'm just surprised that there's like nothing.
I think they're still trying to get through all of this, and Square Enix has said that they want to make all of their backlog accessible. If
they probably outsource it or something.
Yeah,
right?
they're probably also going to be doing the mobile ports first, and if they have time, do the HD 2D thing. Or a full-on remake, but we'll see. Yeah.
I'm surprised that, like, I'm a little surprised still about Dragon Quest 3 because I did expect a remake. I have an old Parallax article that said it's time for a modern remake of an older Dragon Quest title, and the ones I talked about were 1, 3, and 5. And 3 was because spoilers, but 11 is connected to it.
Yeah.
but I thought it would be Dragon Quest 3, but using the Dragon Quest 11 engine.
That would
and,
be
like,
cool too.
graphical style.
I'm kind of surprised 7 and 8 didn't get kind of the remake remaster treatment, because 7
Well,
is
they have the 3DS versions,
it's trapped on either PlayStation or 3DS,
which are two very different versions, especially
Yes,
graphically.
so I was thinking maybe Monolith Soft would handle the remaster remake thing for Switch for Dragon Quest 7, and Dragon Quest 8 is such a beloved entry, and a lot
especially like globally.
So there's a lot of nostalgia for that one. I guess next year we'll see if they will attempt to tackle the remaining back catalog.
If you add Bayonetta 3 to Metroid Prime 4 and then add Shin Megami Tensei 5, it equals Dragon Quest 12.
Sure.
All these games that we don't know when they're coming out. It's probably going to be, as of right now, I think Dragon Quest 3 remake will be my most anticipated game of 2022. Even though we don't know if it's coming out in 2022. But it's going to be between that and probably like Final Fantasy 16.
If it doesn't drop this year.
I don't think 16 is dropping this year.
I mean,
I really don't think
all
it
signs
is.
point to 2021, but I think E3 will tell us definitively.
Maybe.
Yeah.
And we'll see what's up with that Final Fantasy Origin game.
Yeah. But yeah, I guess that's it for this episode. Do you have any closing thoughts?
Well, I hope we have listener questions next week. That's what my closing thoughts are.
Yeah.
My closing thoughts are
ask us questions.
Try out Dragon Quest. Ask us questions about stuff.
Play Dragon Quest, yeah.
Play Dragon Quest.
Wash your hands. Get vaccinated if
wash
you
your
can.
hands. Get vaccinated. Still wear a mask because there are a lot of people who are still don't feel very safe, and from the past year, aren't as trustworthy of people as they were before, which is very understandable. I still wear a mask everywhere. I don't plan on taking it off.
Stay safe.
Nice to have if you do a bad job
Stay
shaving.
healthy. Stay healthy. Play video games. Watch anime. Read manga. And we'll see you next time.
Matane.